All right, I'm back to record the video. um, yeah, I keep intending on like really dolling myself up for these videos, but it doesn't happen. Because it just doesn't happen. And would y'all believe if I told you I purposely come on here looking the way I do? I do it on purpose, right? Um, like I say, like I love being the raw, authentic part of me. Um, I don't know, it just feels good, right? Like that's one thing that I've come to conclude. If you can't accept me in my purest form, then you don't get to have me, right? So, but yeah, so what did I want to record on today? I just got through seeing some more videos about Nottaway plantation, and anyone who's tuned into my videos knows that I am a spiritual person, and so I've seen from some amazing spiritualists or just people who are tapped in what really took place, and it definitely had to do with the ancestors, that you know it was time for that place to go. And I was just listening to a young lady. She was saying that, her ancestors, or her guides, I can't remember exactly what she said, um, it was explaining to her about fire. Um, oh, look at the little, is that a bunny rabbit? Oh, hi, little Snooky. Um, and how it brings things to light and it purifies things. And I was unaware of Nottaway plantation. I know, unfortunately, there are still plantations across America, or, across the South. And it's wild because I did see a while ago, like, there are a lot of white people who like to have events and to marry each other at those plantations, which is pretty sick. And the ancestors were definitely involved with that plantation burning down. From one woman, New World Tarot Queen, she did a reading on it, and she said that some of the ancestors were still there. Their spirits were there. And burning it down is a way for them to release. They're ready to pass and move forward into the afterlife, whether they're going to reincarnate or if they're going to make this their final cycle here. And I don't know how many of those ancestors are directly connected with me. Maybe some, maybe none at all. But I pray that they get that release, and that they can rest in peace. Especially with the young lady saying about what fire does, how it brings to light and purifies. And I guess now, since Nottaway has been brought to light and lit the fuck up, to hear the atrocities that took place on that plantation. And then I also saw a video of a white woman who was like narrating the tours there, and she basically was making it sound like an extended hotel stay. So I'm glad that happened, and I pray that many more things happen, right? Because in the AOA, the Age of Aquarius, truth is being revealed, things are being shifted, things are being changed. And so that makes me very happy. When I first heard about it, I wasn't sure because I'd be kind of skeptical. I don't like to hop on a bandwagon when people are, and I was just like, is there something else going on? But it was confirmed that it was definitely the ancestors. And I pray, well, not I pray, I hope that they do get their peace. When I think about the ancestors, I've had these, I've been going through a process of where I've been forgiving my ancestors, right? Because some of the stuff that I've experienced since I've been here on this planet have been so ridiculous. I'm just like, y'all, like, the immediate ancestors and stuff, I'd be mad. And I'm like, But now that I look back on it, that was necessary for me to become the woman that I am today. Now, I am still a work in progress, and I may always be. Um, this is why abuse and trauma is so fucking horrendous, y'all. I'm 43 and I'm still working out the residuals of things that I've experienced. I've healed from a lot, right? But there are certain habits and behaviors that I've picked up that I now need to really focus on releasing, which I will do. I have full confidence that I am going to do that. I've been on Instagram. I mentioned that in the last couple of videos. It, like I said, is like, it's another channel of knowledge. But the pace, I don't like the pace. The videos are too short. And like I said in another video, I feel like our attention spans are already super low. So I have to be careful with that. I've had, a few people request me. I haven't accepted their request. Because I'm very strategic about, just from things I've experienced, who I allow in my life, who I don't do things just to do them, right? And so I just saw a request today from a beautiful family member, and I'm hesitating to accept her request just because I experienced a lot of abuse and trauma from her parents. And I know that she, has a relationship with her parents, which she definitely should. But there was a lot of bullshit that her parents did to me as a young woman and as a child. I can say it's tricky. I'll say I forgive in the extent that it doesn't hold me back anymore, but I've never received an apology for what I experienced. And the things that I experienced, I wonder how much of that has traveled into my adulthood, of where I felt like I was wrong, or, I doubted myself a lot and I abused myself a lot, right? And I didn't believe in myself the way that I should have. And the negative things that were happening, I believe I deserved it in a way because of some of the things that, her parents did. And so I've made peace with it for the most part, but I just don't want to engage. I wish her the best. I wish her nothing but blessings and love, or bestings. I told you I'm getting rid of that, blessings and love. I see that she's grown into a absolutely gorgeous young woman. But the way that I'm built is I'm trying not to do things without a purpose now. There needs to be a clear and distinct purpose as to why I engage with people. And I'm not messy either. So I don't know. Who knows what the future may hold. But if she happens to see this video, I just want to let her know I love her. The last time I saw her, I was God knows how old. I was really responsible for caring for her a lot when I was in her parents' care. And so I just hope that she's well in all her ways. So I'm going to leave that alone. I've had a few more goofy ass romantic encounters. Like I said in one video, I met somebody. Well, I continued an interaction with someone and then found out they were married. And I'm just like, damn. So look, y'all, I can see how people get caught up in so that this other woman, the other person thing. This is why this is dangerous. When somebody talks to somebody and entertains them and they're married, and that person does not know, and then they can develop feelings or whatever for that person. And then by the time they find out, they've already had this entanglement. So I can see how a lot of women have been caught up that way. Maybe men too, right? They meet somebody, they think that person's, free game. And then they find out after they've had so many interactions that they're not, right? I'm kind of evolving on how I view marriage and stuff. Like I don't believe in marriage, especially the Americanized system of marriage. I don't believe in it at all. I believe the Americanized system of marriage is literally about ownership. If you even think of the wedding vows, how horrendous, till death do us part, in sickness and in health. Like, come on now. Like, I mean, like I said, I believe in union. I don't believe in marriage. Who's to say if maybe I will get married again? But honestly, if I ever get married again, it would be solely because I know that I'm going to reap some kind of financial benefit, right? Which I could do in union. We don't need to get married to write wills and to make sure people are taken care of, right? But that's the only reason I see justifiably why marriage would be beneficial. Anchoring yourself to somebody for the rest of your life, making a vow to say that you'll be with that person for the rest of your life is straight craziness. And I just wonder how many people are in toxic relationships that have served their purpose, but they refuse to let that go because they've bound themselves to this person. No, like we grow, right? We grow. And so I've had to do a lot of shadow and healing work. I'm probably going to have to do it God knows how long, but I've had time to reflect on the marriage I was in and the man that, I was married to. And so I had to go through the process, the grief process. I had to go through the anger, the shame. I went through all of that, right? And I'm allowed to have those feelings, very justifiably so. But now I can look back on it and see that my interaction with him activated things that were in me that were already there. Sometimes our spirit guides and our angels will send people into our life to help bring the strength in us out that's there. We're not using it. It's not activated, right? And I seen somebody did a reading on Holly and DDG, and they said that that's her lesson that she learned from her encounter with him is to stand up for herself, right? And sometimes we have to learn that because when we come into this world, we're conditioned to give away our power. And in taking back our power, it's a journey. It's a process because we don't realize how much we have given up. So I can look back on that relationship now and see how it strengthened me. And it helped me to learn how to create strong boundaries. Like I said, I am a work in progress. But see, I hope that I will never be arrogant enough to say that there's not more that I have to learn, right? I hope that I won't be that way. It'd be nice to get to that place, but then I think you would get bored. And I don't like being bored. So, what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Yeah, Instagram. On Instagram, I've been seeing a lot of evidence that the moon landing was fake. I've been seeing how that it is now being revealed that there are more than 7 continents. I think somebody said 33 continents. The flat earth theory, I never really got involved with that. My oldest daughter brought that up to me a couple years ago, and I was like, I never really pondered it. But to me, it makes sense that the earth is flat. I don't know, because we're on a ball and we're spinning. Like, okay, how does gravity come into effect on a ball? If we're wrapped in it. If you look at the globe, we're wrapped on a ball. How does gravity come in effect with that? That's the simplest version that I have, but I've seen some pictures, and to me it makes sense that flat, the earth makes more sense being flat than round to me, right? Yeah, and the moon landing being fake. And it's just like, do you see the way they've been playing in our faces, y'all? That's like I said, like I keep saying crimes against humanity. And I feel like we can't get this going until people acknowledge that there have been crimes against a man. We have been assaulted. We have been deceived. We have been manipulated. With like the stuff that was done is just absolutely effing ridiculous, y'all. Come on now. So when is we going to start getting justice for all the fuckery that was put afoot that caused most of the bullshit that we're experiencing now? And I don't think we'll get that until we, as a collective human race, stand up for that. So I go back into, I'm not racist, but I definitely acknowledge the differences in race. Like there are strong differences, right? And, people always acknowledge the difference of Black people. And we had another encounter at a restaurant where we were treated like shit by Latinos. I'm just like, oh my God, it's so exhausting. So I'm just like, I'm thinking maybe Black people need to do more to open restaurants with that diversity in food, because there's nothing worse than going into a restaurant and immediately getting looked at and getting lesser service and having somebody who's underneath you, like literally, spiritually, and whatever, like looking at you like you're scum and you're paying them. It just doesn't make any sense, y'all. So, I think we need to diversify. Like I've been saying this for a while. We need to diversify our businesses. Now, granted, I am a cosmetologist. I'm in the beauty industry. I took a break I stopped doing the hair part a long time ago, but I'm tapping into another facet of it, right? So granted, even though I'm in the beauty industry and I have my LLC for the business idea, I have several business ideas. I just feel like we need more diversity, right? We have beauty, we have barbers, we have food, and I'm sure we have other stuff, but I think we need to tap into the way more diverse stuff. Like, where are the animal grooming facilities, Black owned? Where are the, we can have restaurants. Can we have Mexican food? Because in my mind, everything originated from a Black person. All of these different races in their cuisine that they gatekeep or that they have deemed as theirs, it came from a Black person, right? And so we need to get back into that. Like, can we have more than just soul food, right? Because I'm somebody who likes diversity and I'm willing to try all things, but what I'm not willing to do is be disrespected and treated like I'm less than to experience that. So where we just need, I feel like we need more expansion on what businesses we offer. Like I said, dog grooming, like think of any business, right? We need to tap into that stuff, because it's like, let's create that safe haven. Like, like I said, I wish that we could just experience these things from the older cultures, but nobody's dealing with the bullshit anymore. We're not dealing with this bullshit anymore that y'all like to do. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to touch on. My beautiful, amazing children are home for their time with mom. So I planned on making this a little bit longer, but I'm going to cut it short. But I hope all is well with whoever turns into this video. And I hope you have an amazing week and a better week ahead. Let's manifest our heart's desires and live fully in them. Namaste. Ashe.